It's a sad story from that angle. And then you have the ball land in the open, like this community 2 area. Kids will pick it up and then they send it to home. And
I'm sure, if I don't know if you play football. Oh, my younger will play football. I mean, you finish and you want to eat some food. Who thinks about washing your hand before?
So you essentially eat the excreta. Let me ask Betha. Betha, at this stage, and looking at what you just saw in the open in the Tema West constituency, do you think that our assemblies in particular are looking up to the future of where we are heading, where we manage liquid waste to the benefit of the economy, just as GTV and Simon's organizations are doing?
Well, the situation that you showed is a bit unfortunate and it's very sad. And I think we cannot overemphasize the public health issues that this kind of situation results in. Now that we are doing a lot of hand washing, maybe we might not see transmission of disease, but you can imagine if this thing escalates, then we are talking of cholera outbreaks and other diarrheal disease that we will be experiencing. So definitely the assemblies need to sit up and to solve this kind of problem. But I think one of the things sometimes that happens in some of these assemblies is capacity. So the situation that we see, that the assembly have adequate capacity in terms of number of human resources to be monitoring, and once you pick this issue, you report to the assembly, you solve it. Do they also have adequate resourcing? Do they have adequate resources such that such a problem, the assembly commits enough funds? Do they plan adequately for dealing with some of these in their annual plan? So there's a whole structure or operational governance system that appears to be failing when you see this kind of situation. And I think this is where the assemblies need to sit up, especially with the waste management department and with the environmental health and sanitation unit. So it's not just at the household level, but once the waste leaves the household, where does it go? So it is either going to the sewer, as you saw, and therefore the sewer is the responsibility of the assembly to manage. And so the question is, for example, why is TMA not able to manage the sewer lines? Is it because they don't have enough funding? Is it a maintenance issue, like I think Harold had mentioned, that issue about maintenance culture? Or is it just inadequate tariffs? So this also brings the issue of how much do people pay for waste management or for sewer management. In TMA, maybe they will pay 100 cedis a year. Is 100 cedis a year adequate to help the assembly to manage? If they increase the cost, will households be willing to pay what it takes to, for example, maintain their system regularly? So you heard the woman make a very good point that if they don't treat it, so it becomes a chicken and egg. If they leave the situation like this, why would they pay sewer fees? At the same time, the assembly is also hoping they can get enough tariff to be able to fix the situation. So there's a bit of both, but it shows that we need to have a well-structured system that combines everything. At the national level, I think we know we have a lot of policies, we have a lot of plans, but down at the implementation level, how is this translated? I think implementation is now the issue to look at. So enforcement of standards also comes in here. I mean, both build on.
Have we lost Betha? I think we're going to go for a quick break and come back, pick up some of your comments, and I see quite a number of you trying to reach us. I'm told that today, if you even want to call, you are allowed to do so on 054-366-4264, 054-366-4264. If you intend to call. Otherwise, if you WhatsApping 0241-340-130 is the number, and all the numbers I reckon have been displayed on the screen. So when we come back, I would love to find out, Harold and GTV and Simon, why haven't we seen government taking up and scaling up some of these projects? Now, Harold and I think about 12 years ago when somewhere one of these World Urban Forums and things like that, we've talked about all these projects at the lower, smaller level, pilot level, Nebo Harold. And we haven't seen them scaled up to the extent that they can solve our problem. Why are we still where we are when we return after the break? Public concern. All right, welcome back to Public Concern, and we're still talking about the issues that concern you in your cities and towns that you live in this particular country. A lot of things are causing a lot of problems, and that concerns you, it concerns me. We talk about traffic, we talk about floods, we talk about liquid waste, we talk about solid waste and all of that. Today we're talking about liquid waste, particularly because the 19th of November is World Toilet Day. So we've been talking toilet since last week, and also this week we've been talking toilet. Now, the subject is whether we look at getting some gains out of the liquid waste. And we've heard a lot from our panelists today that some of them are converting toilet into electricity. They're actually contributing 100 kilowatts to the national grid. It's been corrected. We were told that it was 100 megawatts, but it's 100 kilowatts. That's been corrected to the national grid. That's what they are getting from toilet. And I think that that's significant. Some are also getting fish feed out of toilet and all of that. Quite a number of you have shared your comments already, so I'm going to go to the screens and read some. This one says, good evening, Samuel. I am watching the program and wish to correct the numbers put out by the gentleman from Safisana. The total installed capacity is 100 kilowatts and not megawatts. My name is Seth Mahu, so Seth sent that particular one. This one says, greetings to your cherished team out there. There is no bad waste on this earth. With the positive retrievals from our liquid and solid waste literally help promoting green environment. So a lot of people believe that we can gain a lot out of liquid waste. You don't have to see a lot of toilets gushing out in your community. Let's make proper good use out of it. So, hi, good evening, people of Ghana. I have one problem with households without toilets. You sometimes see other tenants allowing their kids to go to toilets around the house in the open, and house flies walking on this toilet. When you tell the mother of the children doing that, then they will insult you and call you names saying you have hatred for their children. Please, is there no law in Ghana that we can call doing that to others for further punishment from the government? This is from Prof. Nee from Tema Newtown. He says, Harold, what do you make of this one? People, children defecating in the open, when you complain, people think you are too known.
No, there's actually a law against it. But
is there?
Yeah, there's a law. You cannot defecate in the open.
Okay, so whether it's kids or adults,
grown-ups, there's a law which, and there's also a
so
law.
what can they do then? They should report to the assembly or what?
Yes.
So if you have a community, for instance, kids are defecating near you, or even adults are defecating.
Yeah, so ideally you should be able to report the situation. But I know people talk about the fact that poor people, they don't have toilets.
Yeah.
That's how we behave in
The
Ghana.
excuses are there.
Excuses are there. But it's against the law, bottom line.
All right. So this one says this is a very good initiative, and I am surprised to know that the MPP and NDC governments have all not supported your company again. International Water
Management Institute.
He spelled it for me, IWMI,
yes.
But I find it difficult to pronounce. EMU.
Me.
My brain. All right. So this one says, good evening, Ajingo. A history in Second D Takrade, a place called Agrek behind VRA Gridco, where a white man used his waste to make fertilizer. He dug holes and put feces and cover with weeds. And after 6 months, it decomposed and used. I can call and explain vivid because I was a child then attending Diabene JHS in 1979. Once you called me Ajingo, I'm suspecting from Commonwealth Hall or somewhere. But you can call the line. So the numbers that you can call are displayed on the screens. I think you can definitely call that. He says he was in JHS. 79 was in JHS. So middle school, he just trying to, if the 79 is not wrong. So good evening. For a circular economy to work really well, there must be adequate education on waste segregation. This would help citizens appreciate why we need to recycle our used products. This is coming from Emmanuel in Tamale. When it comes to liquid waste, do we segregate? I know that solid waste we can't segregate. So what do we do to make sure that we get, we're able to recycle?
Yes, when it comes to liquid waste, the fecal waste in particular, at the source there's no segregation, but at the treatment point there is a screening point where you have to remove all the foreign materials before it goes to treatment. Then you take, after treatment, then you now take it and use it to do your compost. So at the beginning of the treatment process, there's always a screening point to remove the plastics, the clothes, all the funny things.
Is that what you do? You mentioned that condoms were found in some of the... All right. Okay. So... Okay, so this one says, good evening, I am Bismarck Asare from Awoswase. Keep up the good work. The sender is, okay. Yeah, the sender is not on your contact list. That's a WhatsApp message. Hi, good evening. Okay, that's not, all right. Oops. Always find difficulty. Hello, my name is Prof. Apieje, watching you live. Proper disposal of feces and solid waste is essential for hygiene. Use designated toilets or proper sanitation facilities and follow waste management guidelines in your area. If in nature, bury waste in a deep hole away from water sources or pack it out in sealed bags. Always prioritize sanitary methods to prevent environmental contamination. That's a good advice coming from Prof. Apieje. All right. Do we have more? Okay. All right. So I think that should be it for the comments. When the calls, I heard that we have a couple of calls. If those come through, we should be able to address them. But another thing I want to find out is that you talked about the fact that you like the public toilet, but aside the public toilet, what can we do to the other, the very local ones that we used to have and all that? Do you do something about them too?
Which
so you have now the WC, the pit latrines. What do you do to them?
Okay.
Can that be useful as well?
Yes.
They can be useful. The whole issue is for our operation, we are looking at materials that can give us more gas. So if the solid content in there is quite high, then it's fit for our operation. We can still go by the liquid, the private toilet, that's the WCs. But the issue is with the WCs, when you flush, it's, let's say, about 10 grams coming with about 5 liters of, or say 20 liters of water. So it makes it quite, the solid content quite low. So in terms of its ability to generate gas, it's very low unless you add other organic materials to it. So that is the challenge. But one challenge we've also seen with the public, the private toilet is because we also want to reduce stench in the household. We put in a lot of hypochlorites to reduce the stench, and in that case, it adds a lot of salt to the final material. So in the process of you using it for compost, it increases the EC levels, that is the electrical conductivity. And in that case, plants do not like high levels of electrical conductivity. It actually suppresses the growth of plants. So with the public toilet, you see, those things are not there. Are not too much.
Yeah, but
these are some of
the things that people add to their toilets, thinking that it will rather suppress it, or it will make it doesn't, it won't be full early enough for them to call for people to come take them off and all that. How does that affect you? Should we be leaving them naturally? Is that what helps you in doing your work? But let me say that the number that you can share, you can call to share your thoughts on is 054 366 4264. If I'm not running out of time, I'll be able to pick a few before we close. Is there a way that, are there things people shouldn't do or should do to their toilet that can make it useful to you?
Yeah.
So basically, when it comes to resource recovery from toilets, at the point of resource recovery, that toilet is the feedstock. So it has to be of a certain quality. Even though it's coming from your household as waste, if you're going to use it for resource recovery, it's a feedstock for a plant. So it's a certain quality. So like Simon said, you should not be flashing all sorts of foreign materials down your toilet, be putting all these chemicals. Now, because of treatment of kitchen waste and all that, people connect their septic tanks to their kitchen waste. They flash detergents and all that into.
You don't want people to do that.
It affects
the quality of the toilet.
Yes.
Let me get on the phone lines and speak to one or two fellows before we wrap it up. Hello. Hello.
We are hungry. We want you to send us $100.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Please go ahead.
Hello.
All right. Okay. So let's pick another one if the other one who is on the line. Okay. So back to what we do to.
So I mean, you don't have to put all these things down your toilet, but I wanted to add that this does not eliminate some type of liquid waste from being able to recover resource from. The example I gave for the aquaculture systems, for the lighter waste from the household, the septic tanks, not the public toilet, the septic tanks and all that, you can look at other resources beyond the composting that can be done from it. We also have, let me share an interesting technology with you. We have this larvae called the black soldier fly, the big bubbly fly. When they settle on the waste and feed on it, they're able to lay eggs. That eggs grow into like a larva, the worms you see. That worm has high protein.
Yeah.
That protein is really good to put into animal feed.
Yeah.
So the poultry farmers, the fish farmers, you can grow the black soldier fly, they lay the eggs, you harvest the worms and use it to produce protein, replace your expensive protein source in animals. Yeah, so these are alternative, interesting options based on the quality of waste you are getting. You can explore it for various resource recovery
options. And there's a lady in Adenta there. I talked about her the last time. She's on, I think, the Adenta traffic light there about on the right hand side when you're heading to the Dodowa Road.
Yeah.
And she produces fish feed out of
the black soldier fly. So that's like
where do you think that we can go with this whole idea? What should we do?
Well, I think a lot of work has gone on, and thanks for this opportunity where we can share ideas, create awareness. So one key for us to be able to expand, so that private sector entities who can see the benefits in what is being discussed over here can come on board, support what is being done, so that we can have the scaling up that we are talking about. We are tired of doing things at a small scale for a long time.
Yeah. Just to add a bit to what Howard was saying on the scaling up, you know, before we went on commercial break, you were asking that what are the options we can do to grow this and get better. Beyond the awareness, there is the need for financing investments. We need financing investments to be able to operate. When they start like this, you don't start making profits right away. It's a business. So there has to be some financial input there to be able to support the business to grow and find its arms to be able to finance itself. Another thing that we need is capacity. People can have capacity in treatment of waste, but the capacity to recover resource from waste into a business and sustain that business is really lacking. That we at UMI we have, and we provide the training to support implementation. So we really need to look at that capacity. And in scaling up to strategic partnership, the theme for this year's World Toilet Day, strategic partnership, working together, leveraging on each other's resources. It is not a partnership where one person is doing everything. We all have responsibilities. We all have something to give so that we can accelerate. So that partnership, we can all come on board, bring our resources together to be able to implement. So on our side, with all that we have done, we have set up the Innovation Hub, where we are leveraging on partnership of sector actors, the public sector, the private sector. Susana is already on board the hub, where we are calling them co-owners. So we are co-owning this hub to implement our circular economy activities for acceleration. So united for progress, what can we do to scale up? So these are some of the things we are doing in our own small way to scale up, working together, leveraging resources for acceleration.
Okay, so for Susana, in terms of scale up, I'll actually commend the Ashaman municipality. As I said, Susana started as a pilot in 2010, and with the help of the assembly, they gave us the land to start operating there. So that's how Susana scaled up. Now, the other thing that is also helping us to scale up is partnership. Currently, we've partnered with one company in Kumasi, that is Clean Team. So with this partnership, we've been able to set up another plant in Kumasi where we are currently doing compost. But in the coming years, we are looking at also setting up another biodigester to be able to produce electricity also in that region.
So I was going to find out from, are you only in Accra? Are you looking to go to other regions and things like that?
Oh, the examples I gave are in other regions, and we are an international organization, so even work beyond the borders of Ghana.
Good.
Yeah, so in other regions already.
Better, what advice would you give in terms of, okay, I think we lost Better on then Harold, you take that. What advice would you give in terms of linking state agencies, municipalities, assemblies, with organizations like that of Simon and Jifa?
Yeah, so to date, most of the innovations that they've had is actually with the municipalities, and to some extent the Ministry of Sanitation has been involved. So UMI has been working initially with Tema Metropolitan Assembly, and then with the Ilo Krobo as well. And then Clean Team has been working with the Ashaman Municipal Assembly. So that is the first step. As we've tried to communicate, there's a challenge. Our mindset about waste.
Yeah.
It takes time for people to actually understand and appreciate. And they'll both tell you. I was involved to some extent. When you start the process, it's like toilet. You look at this, the kind of comments you get at the beginning, and it takes time, it takes patience. But great opportunity we have over here. We are calling everybody to come on board. As you said at the beginning, all of us produce the waste. The waste that we produce, there is something, it is actually cash, it is actually money. If we are able to work together, international organizations, private organizations, NGOs, private sector businesses, we come together, build the partnerships. We should be able to convert the waste that we produce into something positive. And it benefits all of us, and it cleans our environment. So the benefits are immense. Let's all come together, build strong partnerships, make our country and the world at large a better place with the partnerships that we have, so that we can get something which will benefit our society as a whole.
For companies like hotels and the tourism authority that manages hotels and things, do you think it's about time that we have a certain kind of forum that engages all of us on these lines so that we commence the conversation?
Yes, so that's a conversation which is to be had, and it takes time. Somebody say, "Oh, so why don't you regulate immediately?" The regulation is there. For now, it's not an imposition on everybody. With time, people should learn understand and appreciate as these innovations are being improved and scaled on, we'll be able to have the benefits that we want for everyone.
Appreciate your time, Engineer Harold, the sanitary engineer. Also, Simon Ej Sechi, Safety and Health Environment Quality Manager. Safisana, Engineer Betha, that is Wash Learning and Knowledge Management Consultant, and then Engineer Jifa Agbefu is the Innovation Hub Coordinator with IWMI. Thank you for watching Public Concern. Hope to see you same time next week. Thank you very much.